I talk, can I hear that? Who knows? Alright. Oh, okay. That's something. Not great, obviously, but you know, whatever. Okay, so I know that works. That's good. I mean, this is just, you know, for fun. Because, I mean, you know, whatever, it's like 11 p.m. where I am right now. Kind of late everywhere else, too. Nobody wants to be watching this. But, you know, we're doing it. We're out here. Because if I do it now, we can see it, which is ideal. I mean, basically what I got going on right now is I'm playing with the background. Because, like, I just threw on this overlay because this is really plain, right? And obviously I'm not done with this main thing here, but um, I've got the colors laid out pretty much how I want them, so I'm trying to mess with some, making the background have a little more, you know, a little more texture, a little more interest, but not. I think that's a little too much, you know. It sort of competes more than I want it to, so we're gonna scrap that. Try something new. But I'm not quite sure what, because I want to have. Ooh, what if I did like? Okay, that's something. That's something. Let's do that. See, really, really, the only reason I'm doing this is because this is what I do when I draw. Right? I just sort of mumble to myself, kind of what I'm doing. So, and also like you know, streaming is it's a thing people do. It's a thing people do. It's kind of a thing I always wanted to do, you know, or you know, like record while I'm drawing, that kind of thing. So I'm kind of doing this new thing now where I do what I want to with my life. You don't need to hear about all that, but basically, I figured, hey, I got time. I don't have to work until 3 tomorrow, 3 p.m. So, not like I have an early morning ahead of me or anything, so, you know. Let's carpe this diem or whatever the fuck people say. It's probably awkward as hell. Just no music, no nothing, just sort of the general background ambiance of my apartment. My monitor setup is literally like my fucking laptop, because whatever. I'm in college, man. I don't have time to be People who are in college who have a dual monitor setup or whatever astound me. Like, how do you have the time, the space, and the money to do any of that? Like my roommate, honestly, even like a monitor tower setup is a little much for me. Like I know I'm a gamer or whatever, but like I do art most of the time. That's like what I do. I don't need a built ass PC, right? I don't need that in my life right now. I want it. It'd be sick, but I don't need that, right? And then I had a roommate a couple semesters ago who did have that, right? Like his all that he brought like to his dorm was like clothes for his half of the dorm room, whatever, was clothes and like his, jacked PC. And I'm like, okay, you're a music major. You're a music production major. What do you have your jacked ass PC for? You just need like GarageBand or a laptop. I've got a laptop. I'm running Maya on a laptop. What are you doing with a jacked ass PC? I'm in game. I'm majoring in game art, which is like sort of it's a weird major to do, but like whatever. I go to art school, man. I can do whatever I want, and I do other things. You know, I take illustration classes, that sort of thing, and it's like, all right, sure, I don't need that. I really like this background, by the way. I think this sort of I love. Fun fact about me: I love a god ray. I absolutely do. They look fantastic, no matter what. That's not true, but it should be. It might as well be true. So we're just gonna toss some of them babies in here. Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just seeing what happens. I don't know if it's very drawfy of me, dude. I love drawfy. Never gonna happen, but like, if drawfy could have me on, that'd be sick. I'd love that. Again, why would they do that? I'm just some fucking guy in my apartment on my laptop, whatever. But that'd be fun. That'd be fun as hell. Okay, now we've got. I think that's really sick. Actually, I like that a lot. Okay, so that means we're gonna have to rethink pretty much all of our lighting a little bit. Turn way down that multiply layer. Actually, yeah. Okay, that's something. I think we're gonna turn this into a multiply too. I had it as an overlay earlier, and that was all right. Let's try that actually, because yeah, I was on the like, okay, overlaid it, right? So that overlay is pretty sick. And then what was I doing? This. I think I want this to be a different. Make that. Ooh, yeah, okay, that works. That works pretty good. I want it to be a little bluer than that though. Let's crank it to blue. Find blue on there. There's blue. That's nearly blue enough. Crank the saturation a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's better. Crank it back down. And crank it a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. I'm onto something here. I'm digging this. I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to pull back a little bit on this. Whoops. No, not that. Ah, that back. Put that back where it went. Let's Oopsie. I always forget how that works. No, okay, put this to normal. Put it to normal so I can actually see what I'm doing here. Yeah, I like that. Now, if I go normal, then I go add. I don't think add is what I want. Now I'm looking at it in this way. I think I want screen. I'm like, ooh, no, I do like lighting though. I just wish it was a little bit brighter. Bitch, you have an action for that. It's called brighten. Moron. Alright. I'll just leave that there. I think that's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we're just futzing here. We're just futzing. Because I just finished painting in all these like joints and some of the, you know, texture in there, some of that paint texture. Because I mean, I'm trying to. I don't think this is. It's coming across pretty clearly as a doll. I think. I think I'm sold on that, but I don't think it's quite coming across as wood is the issue. Because I think I put too much shit over it, so now these don't read quite as well as they were earlier today. Get rid of this. I don't want this to be so. I just want it to clip to this layer, not to the whole shebang, right? I'm gonna come back to that. I'm just gonna leave. No, get rid of the whole thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone for now. What was I doing with this? I think the multiply layers at this point is doing more harm than good. It's throwing too much at it, so I'm gonna get rid of that too. I'll come back to that later. Yeah, I think these two are kind of all the external lighting stuff that I want to have at this moment. Alright, let's turn that off. We got other stuff to do. So see here you can see kind of what I'm talking about, right? Where that painter at a distance, it does kind of read as wood, but I don't entirely know if once the full picture comes together, it's gonna read the way I want it to. I mean, I don't know why the fuck I'm talking about, the whole picture like I'm done. No, not done. It just doesn't even have his head on yet. It's just a hat up there. Speaking of the hat, let's work on this bitch a little bit. I don't want to go Disney as Pinocchio with it. I'm not doing that. What I'm gonna. Okay. Hot take. What if we. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get crazy on it. Let's get crazy on this bitch. We're going to. The head on its own thing. I had it all set up as one shape because I knew that the head was gonna blend with the body, like it's sitting on top, it's not, it's got kind of its own shit going on, right? But because of the way the neck is, I knew it would be really out front and center, so I had it all as kind of one shape, but I think actually that what I need to be doing is I need to have it on its own terms, right? So it's the hat layer. Close the background because I think I'm done there for now because I really like the way that turned out. I like that, those shapes and those colors. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Okay. Sorry, I'm thinking, and I'm not thinking anything clear enough to think out loud. So what if, like, what if I, dude, I don't know why I'm fucking stalling so much. It's just putting the head on. It's literally just putting the head on. Alright. Let me go find my face color. Here it is. Check color. There it is. Yeah, my color picking is incredibly inefficient, I'm aware. But, you know, I can do whatever the fuck I want, actually. So, you know. So you can kind of see what I'm going for here. This head situation. I hope it's clear what the final image here is going to look like, by the way. In case it wasn't, I'm doing Pinocchio Jesus. Painting Pinocchio Jesus. If you don't get it, then you're just not on my wavelength, I guess. I'm operating on a higher level, you know, than you can comprehend. I gotta turn down this columns. I need to put these in different, extra Y in there. I only name layers, really, because, I need to remember what they are, you know? Because obviously this is just for me. Uh-oh. Downsides of doing all my shit on a laptop is that sometimes he gets tired. My poor laptop. We're gonna call that red. No, it's green. My highlighting system may seem obtuse to some, but I get it. Turn the body down to 50 so we can see where my head is. Just talking out loud, said the wrong shit. This hat shape to be normal. We're gonna get to that when we get to it. Put that on, turn the folder off. Now, hopefully, this nose situation will come off as phallic as possible. You know, for thematic reasons. I'm funny to me. That's what matters. That's what matters. This is all very fun for me. By the way, this whole project is hopefully going to be printed for my school's illustration convention at the end of spring semester, so that I can have it available for legal tender for anyone who might want one. You know, it'll be like $3. It's a zine, whatever. But I think I will have this as its own print because, you know, I'm putting so much time into it, right? And I want it to be evocative in its own right, you know? Do I even need the hat? Because, dude, the nose kind of sells it. I think the nose sells it on its own, actually. That does mean I have to do the face, which I was kind of using the hat as an excuse not to do. But hey, you know, I'm looking at it now, and I don't think I need the hat at all. The yellow is kind of making it an issue anyway. I think that, because the hat does come from the hat does come from the original story. Like, the original illustrations have him in, a stupid yellow traffic cone hat, right? I don't know what those are called. Whatever, it looks like a traffic cone. But I think that version has been so thoroughly co-opted by Big D, the mouse, that if I tried to include it, it would read as like, what's the word for when you take a copyrighted image and you deface it? I think if I did include any hat at all, especially a yellow hat, it would read as, crucifying Big D Pinocchio, right? Which I don't really want. I don't want it to come across as that. I want it to come across as a thematic exploration of the idea of Pinocchio, because that's really that's what I'm after. That's what the whole thing is a particular thematic exploration of the idea of Pinocchio, not a blasphemous crucifixion of Disney Pinocchio, right? So I think if I exclude the hat, then that will come across a lot better. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I had to sell myself on that for a little bit. Talk myself through it. I'll talk you through it. Ghosts. Ghosts in my chat. Oh, highlight the folder so I know where it is. Dude, shout out folders. I only started using folders recently. Game changer. Absolute game changer. Get ready. Dude, drop out, hire me. I'll do anything. I'll do anything you want. I'll get you coffee. Except I won't move to LA. You can't make me. So I think dropout dream is a little dead in the water if I don't want to move to LA. Which I don't. Because it sucks there. Too many people doing and saying too many things. What was that issue what was that? Is that just schmutz on my screen? Oh, it is. It's what it is. You can't see what I was trying to get rid of there because it was schmutz on my screen. It wasn't there. It was all fake. It was all imaginary. I didn't sketch lines. Is that reading? Okay. Well, see, now the problem I'm running into is that it reads so much better when I don't have the wood texture on it, or the texture on it. But without the texture, it looks like shit. Right? I think the texture might just be the wrong color, Let me see. Let's throw a new layer on there. Yeah, if I pull the texture a little more in a red direction, that reads a lot better, I think. Whoops. Wrong button. But then does it read as wood though? It makes my cool ass scars read a lot better, but it still doesn't really read as wood. I think I need to rethink that whole business actually. Okay. Get rid of that. This is what I do. This is my process, by the way. If I don't like something, I just delete it. Say I'll come back to it later. Shout out Drawfeet. Again, delete your art. Again, why am I here? Who is browsing art streams on Twitch at 11 p.m.? I wouldn't be. That's why I'm streaming instead. Something's fucky. Something's fucky. That's a little fucky. That these darker things to be so prominent. I do want to have them there, right? They don't need to be so prominent. Yeah, I think that blends a lot better. Okay, I have to come back to the wood thing later because I'm really getting down into the weeds with it, and that's not what I need to be doing right now. What I need to be doing is putting a fucking face on my guy here. I need to be putting a head on my fella. Oh, that's what I was doing. And I need to be giving this nose a shadow. I screwed myself over a little bit before because I had all these, whatever, these occlusion shadows on the same layer as the shadows on the face, which is stupid because they're not on the same form. So I'm learning my lesson here. Oh yeah, I forgot this was a multiplier layer now. Jack. I think a little bit. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That shows the that shows the dimension a little bit better. Why do I have so much room over here? I don't need this to be so huge. Put my navigator over there instead. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. And I don't need that right now. Yeah, motherfucker. Now you can see. Yeah, okay. Alright. This is mostly this is it. This is it, you know. This is me yapping. I just had the thought. Sorry, I just said that, whatever, but I just had the thought that I didn't post a link. That I was doing this, I just decided to do it. And then I was like, bitch, what are you talking about? Why would you have posted a link? You don't want anyone to be here. Not that anyone would be here anyway. I don't know how people do it. I really don't. I've been seeing there's too many people on the internet is really what it is. Just straight up, there's just too many people on the internet doing the things that they want to be doing. I know, but I've been seeing a ton of really cool videos on YouTube lately, and they've all got like 1,000 views or less, right? And that's really cool. I'm really happy to see that. That makes me feel a lot better about myself, you know? Like there's a guy who he's doing a devlog series for his first video game that he's making in Unreal. And he's got a house. I think he's got a family. He's got a job and all this stuff. And he's years out of college, and he's like, hey, I'm making my first video game. I'm gonna make a devlog about it. And his videos all get maybe 100 views each, but I'm one of them, and that's really sick. I gotta be going. It's really sick because it makes me feel like, because a lot of the time, a lot of the people that you see on the internet are like, contrast that. Okay, excellent counterexample, right? Fucking Mini Minute Man, Milo Rossi. You seen that guy? He's 2 years older than me. 2. That's insane. Motherfucker bought a house. What are you talking about? And I mean, obviously, it's the YouTube big bucks or whatever, right? Which I don't have. I've got restaurant moderate bucks, you know, but it kind of just makes me feel bad, right? Because, like, 2 years out from college, I'm not going to buy a house, right? But then I see this guy who's, years out of college, finally getting a start on what I want to be doing, Like, I've started, I've, I've made, I do game development in my free time, but the thing is, I don't do it, I do it in Twine. And look, dude, Twine fucks. Shout out Twine. It's so easy. I'm like, I like the art stuff, right? I can sort of muscle through the programming stuff, right? But I'm not good at it. I don't like doing it. Um, I can get to a place where I enjoy it, but it's not where I where I land naturally. So anything that involves a lot of programming, I really get stuck on. Twine is it's just the art. It's just the art. I really fuck with that. Okay. I need to turn the body down again because I've got those occlusion shadows. I can't see where my penis nose is. Okay. Let's get cracking. That's my base color. Is that the same base color? It looks a little different. No, it doesn't. Optical illusion. No, I need that back. I need my shadow colored. This is what I mean when I say that I have really inefficient color picking. It's that, you idiot. It's clipped. The layer is clipped. You don't need to know where the nose is. I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, as All Star would say. But that's fine. I don't need to be. I'm really working on my positive self-talk. Comes with my, self-acceptance journey. Again, the ghosts in my chat do not need to be hearing about all that. Sorry, you can't see whenever my laptop yells at me for not saving. So I'm gonna do that right now. Whenever I have, whenever I get really layer heavy on a piece, then my laptop Clip Studio needs to figure out what to do if it crashes every once in a while. Because every layer I add, it gets a little more likely. But, hasn't happened yet, fingers crossed. Knock on wood, shouldn't have said that. I need to get... Dude, chill. Chill the fuck out. You don't need to do anything. I don't need to do anything. I do what I want. Should I give him ears? I've been sort of going back and forth on that. Do I need to give him ears? Is my stream even capturing the navigator? I don't think it is. I think I've set my capture window too small. Let me fix that real quick, actually. Let me edit that. Yeah, I forgot. Forgot how jank this whole thing is. I'm drawing on my tablet, by the way, and my tablet has a uh, smaller screen resolution than my laptop screen. So since I'm on my tablet, my capture window is limited to my tablet resolution and not my computer resolution. So whatever. You can't see my navigator. You'll just have to deal with that. I mean, can I shrink? Ooh, wait a minute. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, baby. It's a little better. Man, I'm overheating. Overheating. God, it's hot in Chicago, man. It's hot. I'm not from here, by the way. Sorry. Just futzing. I think I'll move my tools out of the view there, so we've got a little bit clipped on both sides. That's better. Alright. And we're back. Okay. Let's get back into it. Am I capturing? Okay. Yes. Woo! Sorry. Baby's first word stream. Now you can kind of see my navigator over there in the corner. I think that's a little better. I'm gonna move him in. And I think, can I get rid of any more of that? No, I don't know that I can, but I can pull my layers in so you can sort of see what I'm doing. You don't need to see my pages. It's cool to see my navigator and my layers. You don't need to see my tools either. But you can see this, my tool panel here. I totally jacked my Clip Studio window setup. I totally jacked it from Karina Drawfee, by the way. Wow, third Drawfee reference in one stream. Look at me go. Can you tell? Can you tell that I watch a lot of YouTube? One of those things. It's one of those things that I'm working on in my life. You know, I'm gonna say that a lot. I'm gonna say that a lot. That I'm quote working on various things because it's true. I am. But one of those things is that I'm working on like having a life, right? Because a lot of what I do now is I just watch YouTube and I play video games and I draw. I don't like do anything, you know? And it's really, it's why I'm not gonna have a house by 23, a la Milo Rossi. But, um, you know, better late than never, I guess. So what I'm just like sort of sculpting in the planes here. Because I really, what I wanted to do, did I end up actually doing it? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. Well, I did in some places, but it's a little inconsistent. Because when you have carved wood, ooh, okay, now that's something to do. That's a thing to do. That's what I've been missing. I'll come back to that later because that's gonna be, ooh, it's gonna be a little difficult, but something definitely to think about. Because when you have carved wood, then you end up with these really harsh planes. Um, and a lot of little ones, you know, like the planes don't change smoothly. You have a lot of the marks and the indents from the tools that were used, and a lot of it's carved away in little shavings, so you can see sort of the remnants of those little shavings kind of all throughout. and I think that looks really cool, and I want that kind of unrefined look, you know? Because I mean, this is Pinocchio we're talking about. He's he's not perfectly made, right? And that's kind of the idea. Well, whoops, how'd that happen? Don't want that color in there yet. I'll get it in eventually, but not yet. Um, that's sort of what I really loved about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. Fantastic movie, by the way. If you have not seen that, ghosts in chat. Little ghosts. Little baby ghosts. That's me. I'm King Ghost. King Boo, they call me. They don't call me that. Nobody calls me that. Nobody calls me Ghost either. Even though I think it'd be cool if they did, because nobody knows I'm here. Like a ghost. That's the whole joke. It's really, there's a lot of there's a lot of layers, you know? It's really deep, actually. I mean, it kind of is, right? That's sort of the joke. That I don't. I call it the bit. I'll call it the bit. The bit is that in everywhere I go, as I've been saying, I don't really do anything, right? So the bit for me is that everywhere I go, I lurk. You know, I lurk in Discord channels. I lurk on social media. I don't take front and center in anywhere that I am, right? I want to hang out in the back. I'll chime in sometimes, right? But until I do, nobody knows I'm there. Nobody remembers that I'm there, even if it's somewhere that I've been for a long time. Like, I don't know how many, I'm in like 4 or 5 school Discord servers, right? Never said a word. Never said a word. So I'm a ghost. So that's what the name is. Ghost. So hopefully this whole thing I'm doing will pick up steam if I just keep doing stuff, right? I mean, I can't know that, and I can't make that happen, right? But you know, ideally, the more I do, the more stuff will happen. Give what you get what you give, be the change, etc. Right? But you know, as I said, there's just too many goddamn people on the internet. Who's gonna notice one little ghost, right? That's my eye situation gonna be. I kind of want it to be. Do I want it to be super Jesus-y? Do I want to go full? Oh, woe is me. Look at this. Oh, I'm so sad. It comes off a little cartoonish, I think. I want that. I should be doing that on a separate layer. So we've got the penis nose here. So I want that eye to be kind of there. That one to be that. Is that right? A little bit more. That one's right. That one. It's close. See, the problem is that the angle I've picked out is really annoying. I think I've done it wrong anyway, so again, it's 11:30. This is way later than I usually stay up. I'm an early bird at heart, you know. I don't like to stay up late. It makes me feel bad. And I do like to get up early because I get all my stuff done easiest in the mornings. If I get up at like, again, I feel like I'm really weird for a, you know, early 20 something, right? Where I love getting up at like 7. That's my prime time. 7 to 11 is my prime time. I love morning shifts at work. I love taking morning shifts because I get up at 7. I get my coffee. I go to work, and then I get back at like, you know, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you know what time it is? Woohoo! Blaze it. And that's kind of my ideal day, right? So I sort of replicate that schedule even when I don't have work, where I get up at 7, I get all my shit done, right? You know, like on my maintenance day, it's like, laundry, dishes. I do dishes every day, but uh, mostly laundry, whatever cleaning I have to get done. And then I get all that done in the morning, and then I've got my whole afternoon to just fuck around, right? It's a great system. Works really well for me. So this 11:30 thing is unusual, is what I'm saying. And I only did this because I had the impulse. I had the impulse that, hey, what if I opened up OBS right now and I just started streaming? So I did that because that's the thing I'm doing. I'm trying it out. And I mean, I have streamed before, but it was gaming, and it was just a really quick half-hour thing with one of my classmates. We um played up. Is that the one? One of those co-op cooking games, you know. Apparently, I had 3 viewers. I don't believe that for a second, but that's what Twitch says I did. So, ooh, I've been on for 48 minutes. Go me. All right. Mostly, I'm just plotting out the. Ooh, whoops, whoopsie. I'm just plotting out my angles here in my face lines, because at this angle, it's really annoying to try to place the eyes, because they're going to be mostly down way lower on the face than you think they're going to be, right? Because your head, you don't realize this unless you really map it out, but your head is mostly forehead. Like, your face is really concentrated into the lower half of your head. A lot of people think it's in the middle, but it's not, and that's why a lot of you know newer artists kind of miss that, so their faces and their heads end up really um, centered and squat and look a little off. And it's because your head is mostly forehead. So you have to account for that when you're doing a face. But it's not intuitive. It's not intuitive to account for that. So, you know, you have to think about it. I think what I wanted, I kind of like that bug-eyed look a little bit. Looks a little unnerving, a little unnatural. Yeah, let's go with that. And I think, do I want ears? I already asked that. Do I want ears? Still not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if I want ears or not. I'm thinking about it. Hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that's too high up. Yeah, way low down there. I've sort of stumbled into this idea a little bit. Um, I did a piece a couple months back. It was for class, but I'm keeping it out because I really like the way it turned out. It's kind of the best painting I did all year, really, by like a long shot. But it was, I took, um, God, I know the artist. Hey, shut up. Sorry, my fan just turned on. Loud motherfucker. Um, my fan just turned on. But I took, starts with an H. Uh, uh, Lament for Icarus, the painting Lament for Icarus. The assignment was to take a classical painting and to reimagine it in some way. So what I did was I took Lament for Icarus and I sort of reimagined it as a Frankenstein story. So I took the Icarus figure, I replaced the backgrounds with like a lab situation, and I made the Icarus figure. I put on like it's a surgical table, that kind of thing. It had wires and joints and all that all that artificial stuff. Um, and I really loved the way it came out. It had these super eerie greens and yellows, and it looked sick. It looked like the whole piece had a sickness, was ill in some way. Um, it was super cool. I loved it. I still love it. I made prints of it. So anyway, that sort of gave me the structure for how this was going to go. I actually looked up. I didn't that piece. I just did it. I didn't look up any references at all. But for this, I have been looking at marionette references to see where the strings are placed and how the joints work. Um, their arms aren't connected. I didn't know that. Marionette arms are not connected with joints to the rest of the figure. They're tied on with strings. And then um, there's no joint at the elbow because this whole piece, the hand and the forearm, is all one piece. So this hand controls the entire forearm. Like you bend the arms at the hand. Um, and I didn't know that. I thought that was super cool. Obviously, I'm breaking that rule here. This is not a very effective marionette arm structure, but I'm not making a marionette, I'm making a painting. So I can do whatever I want, as I've said many times. So this is like my base structure here, and then this one will be where I do my face shading. Where's my dark? There it is. So I think I'm going to give it really, really heavy underneath, because I want them to kind of bug out a little bit. I want it to be a little odd and not, yeah, baby, that's good. That's real good. And then what we can kind of do is we can sort of start to define that mouth a little bit more, because I do want the mouth to be a little bit lost in the sauce, but you can still see it, right? So I think I'll end up doing that with some of the other colors that I bring in later, like some of that blue, because there's going to be a lot of blue on the figure, just based on how the light works, right? There's going to be a lot of blue light and blue. No, I think yeah. So the shadows are going to be mostly this red down here, and then the light is going to be mostly blue. So I think the red is really what's going to make the mouth pop, and the eyes too. So we're going to have blue up here at the top, and then sort of a red eye bags, basically. And it's sort of going to give it kind of a spooky look too, which is what I want. I really want this to be a little spooky. Anyway, I think this is coming along pretty nice. I'm digging this. I'm digging it. I like how this is doing. Hmm. I think the head needs more up here though. I'm not sure what I want to put there. I'm gonna put something, obviously, but I gotta figure out what it is. Because the thing is, without the hat, I sort of planned the whole head around the idea that there would be a hat there covering most of the face. But without that, it looks really sort of plain. Like there's not a lot happening there. I think maybe I'll pull a Guillermo del Toro up there. I think I'll sort of because I've got sort of this mannequin head that doesn't have a whole lot going on. Um, but again, in Guillermo del Toro's film, he kept sort of this stump structure for the head, so there's sort of these growths and roots coming up out of the top of the head, and there's a branch, growing. It really sells the sort of slapdash nature of the craft in that situation, and I really like that look. And I think, what if I think I'll do some of that. I think I'll do some of that. Shout out Guillermo del Toro, dude. Knows what he's talking about. All right. So yeah, we're just gonna square that off. Bringing back Frankenstein. Really bringing back Frankenstein. I don't know if you've seen. When did it come out? 2009, I think it came out as film Gods and Monsters. Um, Not going to recommend it necessarily. It goes to some really nasty places. Um, but it has Brendan Fraser and Ian McKellen playing sort of um, what's the word? Um, when things are kind of like something else. What's the word for that? Uh, fucking why can't I think of the word for that? Like equivalent, I guess. That's not quite the word. But that's close enough. Playing equivalent roles to uh, Frankenstein and the Doctor, but you're not quite sure which is which. That's sort of the idea. Is that which is does playing God in that way make you a monster? Because so the idea is that Ian McKellen is playing the director of the first Frankenstein film. It's sort of a not autobiographical, semi-biographical manner, and Brendan Fraser is playing, a young buck, handsome young buck, and he's anyway, I don't need to tell you about the plot of Gods and Monsters. I guess if that sounds intriguing to you, go ahead. Severe content warning. Severe. I cannot believe that I saw that in high school. I saw that in high school. I was 15 years old. Holy shit, dude. How did they get away with that? Anyway, I thought I do think it is a good movie. I just think going into it without knowing what you're getting into is frankly insane. Um, but point is, Brendan Fraser's head in that movie is the most square I've ever seen a head be. And that's kind of the energy that I'm pulling here. Is the squarest head I've ever seen on a human is Brendan Fraser in Gods and Monsters. And it's totally on purpose, right? Because he's meant to be playing sort of a Frankenstein role. He's meant to, and Frankenstein in pop culture has that super iconic, really square head, right? Um, so I mean, I think that it's a bit they did it on purpose, but I thought it was funny at the time how fucking square his head was in that movie. Um, And his head just kind of looks like that, you know, already. He's already got a pretty square head. Um, but they just turned it up to 11, like with his, the way they styled his hair and all that. Anyway, basically what I'm saying is, I I think a lot about media, about um, this idea, this creating creating life, basically. I think a lot about that. I think there's a lot of really interesting ideas there, you know? I think that's really sort of a cool concept to play with, is that creating life. By the way, I was raised Catholic. You can't tell from the everything about me, right? Um, but no, I mean, there's something to that, and I like exploring sort of the idea of what it means to not only to create new life when you aren't supposed to, but what does that created life then do with itself, right? Like, um, that's sort of the whole idea of Frankenstein the novel, the original novel, is that, well, Frankenstein the Doctor Frankenstein, he created the monster, right? Built it out of spare parts that he dug up out of a graveyard while he was cutting class. But then the monster sort of has to live with the fact that his father, his creator, didn't care about him, didn't like him, just made him as like a power play, and then abandoned him once the reality of what he did was too much. And he's really sort of having a horrible time grappling with that idea, right? Because, like, man, that sucks. It sucks to be just born and your maker, you know, is horrified by the very sight of you, horrified that he could have done such a thing, right? Like, that sucks. And that sort of that angst is really what the novel is about. It's not about, you know, oh my god, he created life, the horror. It's more about the horror of being created from fallible hands and then having to live with that. I think that's fascinating. You're really getting a pretty deep glimpse into my psyche here, aren't you? Whatever. I'm just yapping. I stole that from Milo Rossi too. Yapping. Great way to describe most of what I do when I'm by myself is I just yap. I just yap to myself all the time. I think I'm gonna put rings. I'm gonna do rings, but I think I want them to be. I'm gonna take some. Yeah. Some of this pink color that I've got down there in the scratches. Yeah, that's sort of a fun thing about wood is that when you cut it open, it bleeds. You know, it spills its inside. It's got sort of a more reddish interior than on the exterior, and you know the sap comes out a lot redder than you think it's going to. Just, you know, looking at, you know, syrup or whatever, the sap is always way more red than you think it's going to be, especially when it comes out of, you know, fresh cut stump. There's a lot more red in it. There's a lot more flesh in it. So I'm kind of trying to capture that. We'll see how that looks in the morning. But I think that kind of gets at what I want to get at. I don't want the shape to be so regular. I think I want to sort of fuck it up a little bit. Have it be a little wider. I'm not just skipping ears as an excuse to not put ears on him, by the way. I do like painting ears. I figured out my ear structure very early on in my art life, so I'm very comfortable doing that. I think that's something that a lot of people need to do. That's one thing I could say to a starting out artist is memorize your own version of an ear as quickly as you possibly can, because it will make your life way easier. I think since we've lengthened the head now, since we've put the top of it much higher, I think I'm going to pull the whole face up a little bit. I know what I said about, the whole face being mostly centered at the bottom of the head, but that's a little too much. You know what I mean? Let's see, how's that? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Right. Now where's my base at? Let me fix that. Or no, you know what? I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that base right where it is, and then I'm just gonna oopsie, blend out this nose situation here, because this is actually, that's pretty perfect. That's kind of exactly what I want. Now that I think about it and look at it a little better. I can go and I can add some of these. Yeah, baby. Ooh, that fucks. That fucks. Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what. Never seen King of the Hill. Probably never will. Just because that's not the kind of thing I watch. I watch prestige TV because I'm a loser. It's true. It's true. Man, speaking of media about a complex relationship with God. Holy shit, Ozark? Oh my god. You seen Ozark? You gotta watch Ozark, dude. It's so good. It's so good. I've been losing my mind over it for the past several weeks. That looks like shit. Um, been losing my mind over Ozark because I just finally finished it a couple weeks ago, and good lord, God, it's good. It's really good. I'm gonna put this. Oh, that's especially phallic. A lot more phallic than I wanted, actually. But whoopsie. Let's get rid of that. I'm gonna put the same sort of stump detail at the tip of the nose as in the as at the top of the head, because I think that worked out quite well. So I'm gonna stump it off a little bit here at the end too. And we're gonna try to avoid having it be, quite that overtly phallic. It's still gonna be it's still gonna be incredibly, incredibly phallic, but I think we want to try to curb the worst of it. Maybe we'll put a couple stumps. We'll put a couple stumpies out of there. Sort of break up the shape of it a little bit. Yeah, it's a little better. And then I think once I get this blocked in, I think I'm gonna add some more of that darker shade to this here, because this is a little more. I think it'd be more carved detail, right? It wouldn't be so raw, or it would be more raw in the sense that, you know, meat is more raw than cow. But it would be less raw in the sense that it would be more crafted. As opposed to, I think, the head, which I think would be a little bit less. I want the head to be, in general, to be a little bit less crafted. So more raw in the sense that it's less crafted, but less raw in the sense that it is more cow than meat, so to speak. That's an insane way to say that. I sound like an insane person. But you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. Okay. And I think I'm gonna leave I'm gonna leave the eyes kinda as they are for now. Because like I said, I'm not bringing in any of the blue and red yet. I'm not gonna bring in that greater light element. I'm just sort of gonna leave that as okay. How is the general? My torso's off. The torso is way off, and I can't quite figure out what it is. So I think I'm gonna have to come back to it later. I gotta call it. I gotta go to bed. It's midnight. Holy shit. Alright. Let me. Yeah, save. Save, please. Thank you. Okay. Whew. Long night for me. Long night for me. I think I've mentioned extensively that I don't usually stay up this late, so I am more than ready to go to sleep. Adios. Watch you later, I guess.